It was a late afternoon when I arrived at my property to find HOA Karen standing near the edge of what she insisted was her land. She waved a clipboard furiously, and her teenage son hovered nearby, ready to back up her theatrics. "You're trespassing," Karen yelled. "This is my property. Step off immediately." I blinked. "Karen, I own this land. I have the deed right here." She waved her phone. "The HOA rules clearly say." Lisa appeared beside me, her calm authority immediately putting Karen on edge. "Ma'am, property ownership is determined by legal documentation, not assumptions or volume. Any attempt to forcibly remove someone from legally owned property constitutes trespassing." Karen, ignoring Lisa, took a step forward, pointing at the ground. "I know the rules. You're trespassing on what I consider my territory." I held up the deed, smiling calmly. "This property is mine. You are the one trespassing." Her teenage son looked confused. "Wait, she owns it?" "Yes," I said, "and any attempt to interfere with my property will have consequences." Karen's face turned red, frustration radiating from every pore. She continued muttering about boards, rules, and neighborhood enforcement, but I had anticipated her theatrics. Over the next few days, I carefully documented the property boundaries with survey markers, photographs, and legal paperwork. The next morning, Karen returned, determined to assert her imagined authority. I greeted her calmly at the property line. "Karen, I'm giving you one final warning. This land belongs to me. Step off or law enforcement will be involved." She scoffed. "I'm not afraid of your threats." Lisa called the local police preemptively, explaining that Karen had been harassing us and claiming property she did not own. Within minutes, officers arrived, reviewing the deed and documentation. "Ma'am," the lead officer said firmly, addressing Karen, "this property is legally owned by the homeowner. You are trespassing. Any further attempts to interfere will result in arrest." Karen sputtered, gesturing at the ground. "But HOA rules." The officer shook his head. "HOA rules do not override property law. You are on the property illegally." Her son slouched beside her, realizing their plan had completely backfired. Karen was cited for trespassing and harassment, and the officers escorted her off the property. By afternoon, peace had returned. The neighborhood had witnessed the confrontation, and the story spread quickly. Entitlement and theatrics cannot override legality and preparation. Lisa turned to me with a subtle smile. "Some people mistake volume and position for authority. Reality and documentation have a way of proving them wrong." That day became a lesson in boundaries. Karen had tried to assert imagined power over land she did not own, only to discover that law, documentation, and calm authority prevail over aggression and entitlement. By evening, the property was secure, and Karen had been neutralized. The neighborhood had learned an important lesson. Claiming ownership without legal backing carries consequences, and audacity cannot overcome preparation and the law.